Hello, welcome to Handy Lesson, and this time we're going to talk about ambiguity. Alright, so let us start with this. Ambiguity is one of the topics related to pragmatics, and it has to do with understanding and analyzing texts. We have this content today: ambiguity, structural lexical ambiguity, and the models of disambiguation. Okay, so let us start with the definition of ambiguity. Ambiguity, as I was saying, is when in a text the words create or allow the space or the chance for multiple interpretations or meanings. Okay, so in this way we have two forms of ambiguity in this case, which are structural and lexical ambiguity. We talk about structural or lexical ambiguity, which are also called, in the case of structural ambiguity, is also called syntactic ambiguity. And this happens when there is a phrase creating the ambiguous item in the sentence, in the text, in the paragraph as well. So this is called structural ambiguity, or also known as syntactic ambiguity. We also have the lexical ambiguity, which is also known as semantic ambiguity. And this occurs when it is only one word that is creating the whole problem. So we have some examples here. In the case of structural ambiguity, for example, we said it is a phrase. And so we have here, the chicken is ready to eat. The phrase that is creating the problem is ready to eat, because it might be interpreted as both one chicken that is about to start eating, or a dead chicken, the food as itself, that is ready to eat. Okay, and then we have I saw her duck. This is lexical ambiguity. When one word creates a problem, it says I saw her duck. In this case, the word duck is creating the problems because it might be interpreted as the action of throwing a ball and throwing it fast and hard, all right, or just like the animal. So it creates alternate interpretations or definitions. Okay, so let's continue. How do we understand and how do we disambiguate or figure out the meaning? So we have some disambiguation models. Disambiguation is also called word sense disambiguation or text disambiguation, and it is the act of interpreting an author's intended use of a word that has multiple meanings or spellings. So the first disambiguation model that we have is the word model method, which is going to let us know if we're talking about figurative language or literal language. That will happen when the sentence that we hear might really happen in the physical world, and is that possible? For example, if somebody tells you, I am dead, that will not be really true. I mean, literal meaning, it is not physical possible, it's not world, it is not in the physical world a possibility for someone to say, I am dead. So in that case, we will infer that the expression has a figurative meaning, right? So I am dead will mean I am in big trouble or I am exhausted. So there is figurative language. When we talk about literal or figurative language, there are different forms of figurative. For example, we have a metaphor, we have an euphemism, we have a simile, and we have idioms. I will recommend you to look for or look up for more information about the figurative language. We have the mental model method. Okay, that means when we're talking and we're having a conversation, it is when what I think that the hearer is thinking or is understanding from my perspective. So here is a situation that I actually lived, right? When I was working for a call center and I was giving and I was providing tech support for American people. And when I had to troubleshoot and I was on the phone, I had to tell the people, could you, sir, please close all the windows you have in front of you? So usually what the person did was to stand up and go and close the physical windows of his or her house. So I was thinking about windows in the computing term, and the person was understanding windows, the real object in the house. So this is called mental model because it is what I, the speaker, believe that the hearer, the person who's listening to me, is believing, is understanding. It is mental model because we have different concepts of the same word. So we will need to understand the whole context to create or to do the disambiguation. Then we have the acoustic model, and this has to do with what we understand when we hear, right? So what is said versus what is understood. What is said versus what is understood. This is called also speech recognition. For example, here in the illustration, we have three men, and one says, "It's windy today." The other man understands it's Wednesday, so he replies, "No, it's Thursday." And the third guy understands I'm thirsty, so says, "So am I. Let's have a beer." So this is called the acoustic model. All of these items create the topic of ambiguity. So finally, you have your time to practice, which is a Kahoot test that you could click here and follow it, try to answer it. And of course, you have the references in which you can click and read more about ambiguity. I hope this handy lesson has been useful for you, and let's see in the next handy lesson.